Oh, hey. We are live now. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
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 Hi, yes. So, welcome back to another Stream Thursday here at Sumo Digital for Snake Pass. And we actually have a new guest with us today. His name is Pat.
Hello.
He is the audio director here at Sumo Digital, and he's worked on many different games. And I mean, like, many different games.
Pat,
Since the 90s.
Yeah.
Pat, tell them about the music in Zool.
What about it? So I did the music on Zool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was my first gig.
Famous
Ever.
Pat.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, back at Gremlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if people don't know, we have a lot of ex-Gremlin people who moved on to Sumo Digital. Well, you can say it's almost like an evolution of Gremlin, really,
It's a
more than
family.
anything else. Yes. And Happy New Year to you guys on the chat.
Wait, weren't you here last week?
No, there's another one. He wasn't here last time, I
Oh,
think. Yeah.
Happy New
so
Year, Inglorious B.
yes, so he's asking Glorious B, one of our many followers. Thank you again for checking us out once again. He's
What
asking.
does B stand for?
I think we asked that last time, but okay. But
Bread.
his question is, how are you guys doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, you good?
Tired.
Tired?
Tired.
It is almost the end of the week, to be fair.
Mhm.
And since we haven't got to it yet, the subject and the reason as to why we have both Brad and Pat here is because we are talking about voice acting. Now, you might be thinking, it's a snake. And I'm pretty sure I haven't heard Doodle, the hummingbird, really say anything as well. But there is always, and especially for this game, a usage for voice acting.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
this.
we were. I don't think initially we were just going to have a silent snake.
Right.
I mean, technically, he is a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that
So-
Solid and Liquid's brother? Silent.
Silent
Yeah.
snake, yeah. Silence, no?
But,
Oh,
but
no, that's what-
it gets pretty obvious really quick when you see the snake falling or
Yeah.
reacting.
It looks like he's verbalizing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. So we knew we needed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we all agreed that we didn't want him to speak.
Right.
We didn't want him to vocalize words. So it was a pretty tough job for the actor we got in.
Yes.
Because we wanted some character but no words.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty difficult job.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Like, so we'll be showing a video of the actor as well. His name is Tom Clark Hill. He's very, very talented. He's been in the industry for a while now. And yes, last week we went down to Pit Stop Studios in London to record the actual session to vocalize Noodle more than anything else.
Yep.
And went through a whole array of different, I guess, situations as to how he would vocalize, what he should vocalize, and it was wild. It was wild, and we're going to show you a bit of footage in a bit. But we have a Super Barrio asking us why you are tired.
Because we're working hard, Barry.
Working,
We're
yeah.
working
What are
hard.
you doing?
What are you doing?
Why aren't you here
Long
right now?
days,
Yes.
Barry, long days.
All right, and then we also have Agrius Rage. Love to see how much the game's come on since EGX has actually come on a lot. To be fair, yeah.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah, and if you, I think our last stream, we did pretty much show that
You
the
showed the
latest
evolution,
yeah,
didn't
the
you?
evolution of Snake Pass, which you can find on our YouTube, which is YouTube/Snake Pass Game over there as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it should be up. If not, you can also check our archives on the Twitch stream as well. Cool. All right, and to post a cool tweet. Who posted a cool tweet? Oh, great, excellent. So thank you very much. So hopefully you can see all that stuff. So anyway, why don't we go ahead and show that video, James? This is Tom Clark Hill.
Come on, James. Make
Yeah.
it. Oh, it's working.
Here it is. Oh, so you guys can see.
Oh, yeah, I've
How many death sounds?
So many.
Crazy.
Hi, I'm Tom Clark Hill, and it's a fun little project that we've just done. I always like working with snakes that are plastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the animation for this guy. And I do all sorts of voiceovers, and this has definitely been one of those jobs.
See, you guys aren't getting the visual as well, which is fantastic. He's putting his heart and soul into these.
He's totally into dying. Yeah.
I'm good at dying.
Yeah.
How's it feel trying to get into the mind of a snake, especially Noodle, considering it's supposed to be relatively goofy? He's not a very, I don't know. violent snake in a sense.
No, when I saw the animation, I knew it wasn't anything threatening.
Right.
You know, but it's been interesting because you guys want it cartoony, but you don't want it high pitched, that sort of thing. So it's been fun trying to find his sweet spot.
But it's just kind of around here. I kind of feel him in the back of my throat. But there's a little bit of nasally stuff almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I have a lisp now, don't I? This is
Yes,
weird.
you do.
Buddies! Stop! Buddies! Buddies! Ah!
Can you try some of them hisses as well?
So, I mean, were there any inspirations, per se, when you were trying to get that particular...
Well, when I
bit
first
down?
saw it, of course, I thought of Ka in
Yes.
Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the whole being able to say words with a lisp on the end. You know, but since there's no words, that didn't get me too far, did it? You know? Did it?
No, it
No.
didn't.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And that
You're
was
welcome.
awesome, personifying, getting
Okay.
the actual noodle out there
Yeah.
vocally.
I'm sure you're gonna have some scary footage, man.
Yeah, indeed.
My facial expressions.
Can't wait to show you. It's gonna be
All right.
great.
Good luck with the game.
All right, indeed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that was pretty wild.
Yeah. He had a really hard job. A
Yes.
really, really, really hard
It's
job.
it's a tough thing doing. Not to verbalize anything.
Yeah, I
It's,
mean,
it's
most of our
incredibly
scripts-
difficult.
Most of our scripts, they're words, you know.
Yeah.
And you can hear him there. It was like vocalizing, and it felt very characterful. But when you say right, no vocals, just do it as best you can. And you heard him there as well, almost getting words out. You know, I mean, he was doing the calling for the bird at that point, and we didn't go for any of the vocalizations at the end. We did something else. And that sounds weird when you got these muffled words, and we tried gibberish. And I think at the end we've got sort of a hybrid of the two, and we've got some good results.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Because even with, I guess, visual cues as well, because every once in a while I'd show him a video of how Noodle would be physically reacting. It was hard to, again, put that into the actual I mean, not for him to put that into the character, just because it's not like he was wearing a noodle suit or anything like that, too, when doing the actual...
No, but he had a weird position. He got his hands like glued to his side, like he got like a snake. When
Yeah.
he was doing it, you know. It's like getting into character.
Yeah, there was a lot of motion for him in order to get some of the certain bits.
So-
We'll actually go over one in a bit,
So
too.
we ended up going through like multiple takes of various different areas. So what you hear there is, some of that stuff probably won't even appear in the game.
Okay.
It's because we just do a massive, wide spread of different areas, and we take one or two takes that work for us.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So how, like you said, in comparison to other games that you've done, you've had words and whatnot. So before you came in to, I guess, give him the briefing and whatnot, what was your particular idea of how Noodle
That's a
should
really
have
good
sounded?
question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because as I listened to it, I was
So-
like, what?
the first thing I got off Brad was like Baloo. I'm like, really? Yeah, but like Baloo, and I'm like, it can't mean like Baloo. It must mean it must mean something different. So we sat and chatted about it quite a lot.
Yeah.
And what did you mean by Baloo?
Well, it was more. So we've got Noodle and we've got Doodle, and they're friends. So why are they friends? And it was like, well, we know Noodle's silent, so that means Doodle is going to be vocal in a way that Noodle isn't. So he's going to make more noise.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why does Noodle not say anything? Because he's a chill guy, and the Baloo thing was more of a vibe. Like Baloo's kind of like, he gets himself into scrapes, right? But he's never like high shrill panic. He's always like, oh man,
But we sort of went
that's
goofy
a
then,
bummer.
didn't we? We sort of said goofy.
Goofy was kind of more tonally
Yeah.
where we wanted to go, but it was that kind of like that. I mean, that was a really good discussion we had where we just went through and we sort of figured out what the character was, and then got to what the character sounded like. Because when you say
Yeah.
Goofy, everyone
Yeah,
just goes, "Ooh!"
Yeah, well,
it's like, no, we don't want that.
It's not
That's what we
about
want.
the character sounding like that. It's his outlook.
Right.
So, like, one of the things that we liked about Goofy is he's relaxed and chilled out, but he has this not innocence, but he has. one of the things I said is like blissfully unaware of the situation, and if he knew about it, he's super chilled anyway. It doesn't really matter. Even falling off the side of something could actually be fun. You know,
Yeah.
it'd almost laugh on the way down.
Yeah.
You know, rather than screaming in terror. And I think that's where we went with Goofy. But it didn't define the sound; it just defined the character. Really.
Yeah, and I think that was the most important thing for me and Pat to sort of get to the bottom of when we were having those discussions. Because I think if you concentrate too much on what he's supposed to sound like,
Right.
the tone of the voice, and kind of like a like for like character, I think you back yourself into a bit of a corner, and you make the process of finding that voice much harder because you're coming in with very preconceived.
And I think the other thing that you need to consider is that really great people like Tom, they bring a lot to that discussion as well, and they're the best people to work with because we build that character with Tom, and Pit Stop were really good. We did a lot of live casting before that, and we worked with a few more people. And some of them had great ideas, some not so. But Tom was the best, and Tom was willing to work with us. And just do daft stuff.
Well, he's done a lot of stuff. Just looking at YouTube now, when looking at his IMDb, he was Tony the Tiger.
Yep.
What?
That's madness. But you can hear it in his voice.
Yeah,
you can hear it. You can hear it.
Yeah. No. He's great. It's like
he's great.
You missed that part.
Oh,
There it is.
I mean, I've had the great opportunity to work with a lot of voice actors and actors in my career, and there is a world of difference between people who can, and because it's a very specialized thing that Tom does. Then there's a world of difference between what he does and someone who, Tom appears on camera as well, so he's multi-talent, but there is, a lot of difference between just appearing on camera and saying lines and creating a character and being able to bring that character forward just with like Charles Martinet with Mario.
Yes,
exactly.
What does he say? Oh, it's Super Mario.
But he's speaking though, man.
But outside of that one line, that's it. It's all just like and
It's like, all that.
You're very good at that.
Thank you.
Dear Nintendo.
Well, I got something for you guys. But yeah, it's really interesting to see the thought process of how you get sounds out of these voices.
Yeah, he was talking at one bit as well about where the voice lived in his throat. And that's because we worked with him quite a lot before we started the session in trying to define that where that could be. And every time, we're literally asking him to, right, you're about to fall off off the side of a cliff, go. But we don't want any of this high pitched stuff. We don't want any of this high pitched panic. We want, what's it sound like if you were sort of just chilled out but panicking? We give him weird things to do, that just make any sense. And to be honest, must have been bloody infuriating. Really, because but that's what we wanted, and eventually we did get it. He did occasionally go into this sort of, in fact, out of everybody, they all did it. Everybody we casted with, they all went into this really high pitched cartoon voice.
Yeah, he called it a wizard voice.
Yeah, he started to sound like an old wizard, And that's like, I remember me and Brad looking, it sounds like a wizard. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Looking at the snake's face, it sounds like a wizard. But we got there then.
Yeah, I think if we pop up that other video just so we kind of have context as to what we're talking about in terms of the wizard bit and kind of like how he had to vocalize everything.
These production values are blowing my mind.
If that's all right, Tom. So, but once again, with all the time he has this attitude of I'm falling, but hey ho, could be worse.
Yeah.
Kind of, Uh-oh.
Okay.
Shucks.
Yeah, one thing, Tom, is sorry to interrupt. Is I know we're asking for a very difficult thing, but we need to be sure we don't go into that wizard tone.
Yeah, so don't go too high pitched. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very difficult, man. I get it. We're saying don't go up there, but sound like you're falling off something.
Yeah, sound panicked without going high. But yeah, it is. Yeah. And also he's it's almost like him falling off. Yes, it's progression is a bit scary, but it's also a new adventure, that kind of thing. So it's like, whoa, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly right.
This is happening.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And some shorter ones.
Yeah, so how was that?
So one of those things. I mean, a lot of that, especially the falling stuff that we were doing, is that was him sort of just getting into it, and
Right.
you're hearing a lot of raw stuff there, and it sounds weird, and it looks a bit weird, and it can feel weird, but we just choose the right cuts and takes out
Right.
of that. And in fact, the whole falling session that we did, there's maybe a handful right at the end that we'd use. The stuff at the start we wouldn't use.
Yeah.
And in fact, we may use in little snippets in cutscenes and things. So it's all you. I mean, it's there as a palette to be drawn on, but it just looks really super weird when you see it like that. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, that guy's looks like he's having a fit and doing crazy things.
But that's what he has to do.
Yeah,
in order
yeah,
to get that sound out. Yeah.
Because most people when they show things like that show like really good takes and it sounds
exactly.
And what we've done is just shown like the evolution into things.
Warts and all.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to see that process as well, because sometimes you do get people like, let's say, Stephen Fry, who just goes in and knocks
Hey,
it
I
out
can
of
tell
the
you a
park.
thing or two about Stephen Fry. Yeah, Stephen Fry's in and out, just bang. He's a
Cheap as well, I heard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of voice work time in the studio, unless you've got like a lot of rehearsal time, is about investing in finding the character and the actor finding their place. And sometimes they'll get it and they'll stay in that groove, and some people come in and out, and it's like part of like what Pat was saying. It was during the falling where we got into our rhythm, and it started to become yes.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I think I want to keep calling him Tony.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure.
that Tom struggled with is the bit where we can tense as a snake. And
Right. Yeah.
So we wanted to highlight that a little bit and subtly. We don't want it to go. We just want this little noise.
Actually, let me see if I can play the game while you guys are talking about it. So then,
play.
yeah, you can play.
Yeah, I'll play. You've got a
Yeah.
job to do.
Do I though? Kinda. Oh wait, we need to wait. No.
Oh, we don't have the.
Where's the
controller?
controller?
Oh no, technical
I'll play with my
issues.
mind. So anyway, as we're looking
James.
at unbelievable. That might be very useful. So anyway, as we're getting the whole level set up and whatnot.
So the snake, you can get traction with the snake on slippery surfaces. So if you're slipping down a pole,
Yeah.
the idea is that you can just tighten your body slightly and get some traction. And we want something to highlight that because it's important. I mean, the feedback to players is super important, and if we can do it with audio, we will do it with audio. And so because audio is not just about sounding right and sounding good, it has to inform as well. So that's a short lead, man. It's going down there.
It has to go around. Through.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We
Yeah,
promise.
we were so on point earlier.
Thanks, James.
Production values.
Yeah,
Here we
that's-
go.
It was never shown.
So- So he'd struggle with it because he couldn't visualize this. Even the imagery didn't really sell it for him, and we were like saying, imagine picking up a weight, and straining, and it just sounded like over the top. But during the release of some of those and the into some of those, we got some really nice things. So we do edits on those things and make sure that we get little subtle things,
I'm gripping right now. So
Yeah, so it's like, not quite. See?
Yeah, again,
Not quite, 'cause he was
that's too
doing
much.
that.
Yeah, that
He
was too
doing
much.
that,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, it's not that. It's like just just tensing your stomach slightly. That's what we're looking for, and it works, and it will work.
Yeah, again, granted, he's only seen so many animations
Sure.
as well. It's kind of hard to
Yeah,
help
yeah,
him visualize.
We did all the sounds for emotes as well, because you can emote with a snake. And again, we wanted something just to tell the player, this is changing face. You change your face.
Yeah.
We've got lots and lots and lots of takes of different, frowning. I mean, what's frowning sound like?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's difficult to vocalise some
You
of
sound like
this.
Al Pacino or Robert De Niro.
Just when I thought I got out.
What's that supposed to be?
Al Pacino. It's very good. Rob Brydon
Yeah.
is my.
You're Robert De Niro.
It
That's
was
me.
it's Rob Brydon doing Al Pacino.
It is,
wasn't
yeah.
Actually, Al Pacino.
Yeah, but trying to find that place
Yeah.
is really hard.
And it doesn't come straight away.
No, it doesn't.
We have hour-long sessions,
Mm-hmm.
just going through the same old stuff over and over and over again, just to try and get those choice takes to put in.
Yeah, because I remember doing stuff with you with on Little Big Planet
Hello.
as well, and just I forget what exactly it was. It might have
did
been
you
Gibberish.
I did
Did you?
I did some, and then I also did the
You did some guide tracks for the narration.
yes, and the first boss actually.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
you did.
yeah, yeah.
You did.
Like
you
the
did
zombie one and- yeah.
the meat, the
Uh-huh.
saucepan boss.
Was that you?
Yeah.
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's heavily processed.
Yes,
We did some
definitely after a certain point.
massively
Which
processed.
I mean, are we expecting a lot?
I don't think so. With
Really?
this.
Okay.
I'm not so sure. I mean, we'll do some EQ, of course, and maybe we'll do, I don't know, make it feel a bit more sibilant. I don't know, but I mean, I'm saying I don't know now because literally we recorded this.
Yeah, just last week.
Yeah, last week.
Uh-huh.
So we're still editing and putting this stuff together. All the hooks are in.
Yes.
So that's not a problem. That's the bulk of the work. But just dropping the sounds in is pretty simple once we've chosen what we want. So yeah, we might do a little bit of editing. But the thing about it is, right now you don't really miss the snake not talking a lot. You know, it's only in certain things like when you fall,
Right.
or when you're about to fall, or just little cues like when you tighten up. So
I know one of the bits that you guys were trying to get was when he kind of gasps for air as he comes into the water. too.
yeah. I think people take that as being, I'm in danger, I needed a breath, but the snake's never in danger.
Yeah,
I need a breath.
he's so chill. He just falls in. And
Yeah,
it's like,
in fact, the snake is like, this isn't a dangerous game, really. It's safe. Or feels a safe game, even though there's hazards. It feels safe.
Mild peril.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, mild peril, but
Hi to everybody in the chat, by the
you
way.
can put the snake under the water for
Forever.
forever,
Yeah,
and he doesn't.
He's just
So him coming out like, he's
Yeah.
just not in character at all. And again, just trying to get that across that we just want subtle,
yeah, definitely.
hints that this is
Yeah.
what's going down is it's tough.
Yeah, so the voice acting isn't going to be overpowering at all.
That's the key.
Yeah.
It doesn't need it, and we don't want to. We just want to give him a little bit of personality to highlight some of the little things that he does, and that's it. Anything that's in there is going to be super subtle, apart from perhaps the falling.
It's like what we talked about on that finishing games is hard stream, where
Yeah.
sound is one of the most important parts of that player feedback loop, and if you're missing it,
Yeah,
It-
because
you know,
even the ambient sounds right now, if you took those out, it would feel
Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You're in an
true.
empty space, even though it looks visually lush and whatnot.
It's true.
so.
I mean, the thing is about sound is that
Ah, nice. Good save.
the thing about sound is most people don't really realise it's there because, of course, that's the sound it makes.
Yeah, it's expected, right?
Yeah, who could have? What did you have to do, guys? Because it was this is the sound these things make, and that's almost a compliment, really, because if you're not really,
If you're not looking for it, then there's
it's
then,
fine.
Yeah.
But you sort of notice it when it's wrong or when it's
Yes.
not there, and then we get a lot of stick at that point.
Yeah, I was playing. I forget. No, I've been playing a lot of Binding of Isaac lately. Great game, but I think it's missing some audio cues, like when you use certain attacks and whatnot. I'm like, oh, I wish it sounded like this.
Yeah,
As I'm shooting a giant laser, but you kind of get.
Is that
nothing
because
out
you
of it.
work in the industry, or just because you're a gamer?
I don't know actually. Because perhaps the games before that I've played is more of an expectation.
it's an intangible thing to if you're not aware, you'll know something is wrong, but figuring out exactly what that is sometimes really
hard.
difficult.
Yeah.
If you don't know sort of like every layer that goes into what is seemingly a simple action, like he's
Yeah.
making footsteps as he walks. It's-
Yeah. It's all about I guess that immersion really
Yeah.
more than anything else. And like I mentioned with Binding of Isaac, even though it's not necessarily a game like this where the environment itself is but just that little bit would get me into it even more. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
shot a
yeah.
huge laser, and where's the huge laser sound?
Yeah, sounds massively important.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, speaking of getting a lot of stick, we got a lot of stick for Doodle's voice from Dev, quite a lot.
So whose fault was that then?
Well, it was our fault for doing just. I mean, we started off just like it's weird because we started off in a different place than we are now.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to do with Doodle is we almost wanted him to speak the words that were being written out on the.
Right.
But it just didn't work, and the amount of processing and time just to get a whistle to sound like this, exactly what you were seeing on screen, just wasn't working. And the other thing is the voice had no character. It was just whistling. It was treated and it was edited and it was, it sounded unusual and it just didn't work. And we had lots of meetings about that anyway.
Yeah.
Lots of meetings.
I mean, the that bird thing was kind of systemic, or like it was highlighted that maybe we'd picked the wrong approach to how we represent what you're seeing on
It's a
screen.
nice way of putting it, bro.
And then Pat went away several times and went to work, and I think what we've got now, I'm kind of in love with it.
Yeah, I stopped using birds really. Well, actually, that's not a lie. I use birds in the edit that we've got in there, but it's mainly babies laughing and
Really?
and dolphins.
Dolphins and babies laughing is what makes
Doodle.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's really crazy. I mean,
there's a lot of it, but it's not. We're not. I mean, you can actually hear laughs sometimes, but it's just elements. It's just the first, and then it'd be into something else.
right.
And I think the real interesting thing is how do you make that flow and feel like it's a sentence, not only a sentence that could be spoke, but is it a happy sentence?
Yes.
Is it a frightened sentence? Is it an urgent sentence? So that was a real challenge.
That's crazy. I mean, it's like, when doing Foley, you use the most random things to make a sound. So how did you get, okay, I need a hummingbird sound, and you
Well,
were
the
like,
hummingbirds don't sound like that.
they don't. Yeah, exactly. But you want to obviously get something like that.
And that's where we started. We started with the hummingbird. What's the hummingbird sound like?
It's just.
Well, they actually do. They make vocalizations and whistles and things, but they don't do that. See, they don't. do that.
So you have to think, what does a hummingbird?
So that's where we started.
What
we started
do
with
I think a
hummingbird.
hummingbird sounds like? Yeah.
And it just didn't come across.
That's crazy.
And now I think you've got something that's a bit more quirky.
Yeah.
And
So how'd you come up with babies and dolphins?
it's experimentation.
Yeah.
A lot of it. It's going through libraries of sounds and just experience really to understand how something could go together to get these quirky noises. And one of the things I think the noise you've just done
It was wrong.
was right.
Oh, was it?
Actually, that's where I started
Congratulations.
with these noises. I started right there and I thought, well, it makes that a dolphin makes those noises.
Yeah.
And when I started with that,
Okay.
and then I found some really quirky, weird dolphin sounds. I mean, they make all sorts of weird chirps.
I can imagine.
Stuff. And then it gets processed. I don't just use it straight. It goes through a series of effects, and but the edit is what takes the time.
Yeah.
Getting all those little pieces together to make a phrase.
Mm-hmm. And it only lasts for half a second.
Yeah. It took me like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
That's wild.
You know.
That's wild. So I don't know if it would be to say that this isn't necessarily the hardest thing that you've done in terms of creating a sound. What would you say, I guess, in your entire career has been the hardest sound to make, you think?
I think sounds. There might be a difficult question to answer in terms of what the hardest sound to make.
Sumo Rex says get some reverb on it, and that's a wrap.
It's true, absolutely. Reverb's really important, by the way.
Yeah.
Defines space. But yeah.
There it is.
Dropping knowledge
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So difficult sounds. I mean, the Doodle was a difficult project.
Yeah.
It was a difficult project.
You had difficult clients, though.
No,
no, you really did.
The thing, at the end of the day, is
No, I
that,
don't like
that these guys have got to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, with whatever we produce, and it can't just be about me. You know, that's it. That's how it's going to be. You know, and did we get like that? No, we never got into that stage. Actually.
It got, maybe it got close.
Might have been. But
we're
at
still
the end
friends,
of the day,
obviously. Yeah.
The thing is about reason why these relationships are so good is because somebody pushes you
Yeah.
to the next stage, and they push you to the next stage, and even if you think it's unreasonable at that point, they push you to the next stage, and eventually end up something where you probably wouldn't have been. And I think that's where we are with that.
Oh, that's cool.
As for difficult sounds, this was difficult. It's not really difficult sounds or a single sound. I always find it quite daunting when somebody just produces a video or a cutscene or a new project, and it's like you can't just sit down and start filling that space out. You've got to sit back and work out the reason why things are in that space. What does this sound like, and why is it sounding like this? You know, and you've got to come up with a set of rules that work, and you can maintain throughout. I mean, the guys, I think you came up with no metal at one point.
Yeah, that was a thing from Andy's group. He was just like, you know, defining the art styles. That, well, there's no metal in this world. Everything's like wood or stone.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just to define a style, and we needed to find something like that, and we went for quite an organic sound. In fact, I'm just finishing off a cutscene currently for the end of the game.
Yeah.
That I can't talk about, but I got one of the senior sound designers to have a listen to it, because that's the other thing, you know, vetting work and listening to it and sharing knowledge is super important. And he's like, "Oh, it sounds kind of electronic. This sounds kind of electronic right here. You know, it's like sci-fi." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I sat down. Yeah. You know, it's because of these tones. And then I sort of rocked back, and it's like, we're organic. You know, things are smooth, things are round, things are tinkly. So once I went back and redid that stuff, it sounded super good. In fact, one of the interesting things that Ryan did with the gates, he did a lot of musical stuff.
Yeah.
The gates harmonise. When you collect the gems, they play 3 notes of a triad.
That's right. Yeah.
And it plays a super. So again, I've took that forward in a lot of the stuff that we've done later.
Oh, cool.
This thing that something's harmonising. There's something feels satisfying about those things when they come together.
Nice. Almost telling a story in a way as well.
A little bit.
Just via by sound, yeah.
A little bit.
Excellent. So, in terms of voice acting and everything, are there any sounds in this game that are not produced by the characters, but are, you know, that have been vocalized?
You did some.
That's right.
Is that what
We get, no, I didn't mean to go there, but yeah.
Oh, we can't talk about that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
But in other games, yeah. But in other games, you know, have there been sounds necessarily that have been vocalized versus used as a...
Oh, Little Big Planet.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so the gibberish for Little Big Planet was done... Although that was done in a very precise and different way.
That was hard for people, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, who originally did the first 2, I mean, we had such a great job when Kenny handed that over, because he got all that stuff sorted out. It was all like laid out. This is how you do this. This is how you record this. This is the reason for doing these things. It was just brilliant. And the thing about gibberish is that pretty much like we started with Snake in the same space, but it didn't work for us. They were all about reading real bits of dialogue out.
Right.
You know, but giving it this gibberish edge.
That was the hardest thing for like almost every single voice actor to do. It was like they'd just be like, oh.
Yeah, can't vocalize it.
But you can't also make like recognizable.
You can't hint at a word.
Yeah.
Really?
You can't. Yeah, you can't be like rhubarb. It has to sort of like sound like someone talking, but with no hint of language or a word there at all.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Well, again, thanks for the chat for watching this. It's really been interesting just learning about the audio process. Do you think some of that stuff that you learned in doing the gibberish, has that translated to any other projects that you worked on, or even Snake Pass, perhaps?
No, well, it informed what the idea initially for how we'd do the speech in Snake, but there's a whole gamut of reasons why we didn't go down that route. Animation, text, how the boxes worked, everything really, and where we are now is a sort of comfortable middle space, I think.
When you were talking about, I guess, vocalizing and using that gibberish, again, I know in certain bits the doodle will, I guess, give you some instructions, and that comes out as text. Now, I know, because we've talked about it in terms of not creating something that sounds like they're speaking, but not necessarily they're speaking. Yeah. How does that, how do you come up with that?
We didn't do it in the end. We didn't do that. I mean, so our first attempt at Doodle was to whistle.
Yeah.
And we did whistling, and we just got blocks of text, and we spoke those blocks of text by whistling. And then we took those away, and we did some pitch work on it, and some filtering and some editing, and making it sound like a bird that was potentially doing it.
Yeah.
But it just did not come across as being characterful enough. I mean,
Really?
there's some times when Doodle's quite urgent, and you know you could sort of do it with high pitched whistle and faster whistles and that, and emote that way, but you don't get the quirkiness. You don't get all the elements that were required, and plus we were finding it hard to hit every piece of speech that was being said in the game like that, because there was so much to edit and so much work to do just on those things. And so we did a handful, and then we produced it, and then Brad and Paul, the exec producer, was sitting and saying it doesn't sound like he's saying that stuff.
Right.
It's like, for real, it doesn't sound like it at all. So we had to either go, change tack a little bit, or we had to go the whole hog, and we just did not have the bandwidth to do everything like that. And it wasn't that successful anyway at that point.
Interesting.
But it's iteration. Iteration is super important in development.
Yeah.
And people think, they failed at this. But this is how you get to be successful.
Part of that process,
you
yeah.
have to fail a few times and fail a few times. And if production's been planned properly, you have time to do that sort of
Yeah. That's really cool. So I guess in a particular sentence that Doodle will enunciate, how many individual sounds have been used in that particular space? So let's say he'll say use the right trigger to
It depends,
grip.
because we have letting a few start revealing the magic behind the curtain. People are going to start seeing it a lot now, so just accepting it for what it is. But we tend to have buckets of audio,
Right.
which contain all Doodle's normal speech,
Okay.
and there may be 30 emotes that he does for normal speech, and then for when he's scared, there'll be another 10 or 15 when he's scared, and they'll sit in a different bucket, and then when he's happy or when he's urgent, and all the game really does is when we need him to emote is it chooses the right emotion and chooses a random one out of that bucket. So they're not really associated with the text. They're associated with an emotion, which was deemed at the time to be the most important thing.
Yeah.
How can we convey the emotion of this bird rather than just each individual element of text is saying?
Will Noodle have the same process in a sense? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't.
Because there's not just one sound for everything.
No,
clearly.
absolutely not. No, there isn't one sound for everything. There's multiple sounds for everything. But we kind of wanted to strip it back a little bit as well, make it a little more simple, a little bit more simple. So, like in some of the Zelda games, when you speak to a character, you just get a little emote at the start of the text, and that's fine. It fits and it works, and it's not distracting.
Right. It's there and it's
just underlines what you're reading basically. So, this is the emotion of the character at this time.
So we're not too dissimilar from that.
Okay, interesting. In terms of, I guess, sound design and everything. Granted, Ryan's
done a lot of this work.
handling all this. So how much do you oversee in regards to that?
Well, we do reviews.
Okay.
We do reviews all the time, and then right now we're going into just final fix, and then we're going to do mixing. So we just booked out the studio all next week to do just the mixing pass on this, because it's a bit of a black art really as to how the game should sound, and how you're hearing it right now is probably not how it's going to sound when we've mixed it. It's going to sound hopefully more polished and more presentable. So yeah, I mean,
what does that involve for people who don't know really?
Moving volume sliders and doing a bit of EQ. That's basically it. But it's not willy nilly. And I'll give you one of the challenges in this project is that we've got so much high frequency stuff going on.
Really?
We have. We've got. If you listen to the jungle, it's all. You've got aim going. You've got the grass. All the magic stuff's like. Everything's super high frequency, and they're all occupying on a scale the same sort of frequencies. So we have to work to separate those out a little bit by cutting frequencies out and mess around with volumes and stuff. So yeah, ultimately it's just moving sliders around. You know, but there's
You have to do it right.
There's some
clearly.
brains and some ears behind
yeah,
that.
obviously.
And so we booked out next week to do that.
Because I know every time I do a video for the company, you know, I get it to you guys, and you just go nuts with that thing. Like, wow, that sounds completely different from when I first had it.
Yeah.
That's why you guys are the audio guys.
Well, there's standard volume, you know. I mean, games have to adhere to standard volume. People probably don't realise, you know. And this stops us like blasting out really loud volume. You know, it's like when you change channel.
Yeah.
It's like you set your TV to a certain volume and change channel. You expect your game to be sort of there as
Yeah,
well.
true.
You know, and so you have to conform to volume. It's called an LUFS standard.
How about UI stuff then? Because obviously we get a lot of stuff popping up and everything, menus, the whole nine. So what is the science behind, I guess, UI sound design?
So neither Ryan or I did the UI sounds.
Okay.
So we got Dom to do those.
Oh, excellent.
Because Dom was working on.
Other stuff, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that. He's really great. He's just got this knack with UI. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he always treats his mids or what he does, but he just goes mad on synths and produces the most fantastic UI stuff. I mean, delightful.
Yeah.
You know, and what we do is we get a movie of the UI in operation, how it all works, and we just do sync work on that, where we just synchronize all the sounds to it. So it's like a little movie, and we sit down and say, is this where we're headed? We talk about it first and find out what the overall sound should be. But Dom nailed that in like, I don't know, a week and a half. You know, just boom, just everything nailed it.
Wow.
But there's another process after that, which is obviously everything has to get cut out and assembled in Unreal, and then it has to get hooked up to all the calls for the UI elements. And often it doesn't sound like you thought it could do when you've done the sync work on it, and there's a bit of work to do. So right now we're still in that stage, but the stuff that's gone in is super nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
so I mean, a lot of the sounds, I guess, you know, with something like that, for example.
So that's a bad example right now because that's not the sound that's going to go there.
Okay, excellent.
So we're
placeholders.
Yeah, it's part of the fix up. We've got a couple more sounds to put in there.
What would be the sound then? Perhaps?
Similar, but it's just one of the things that we talk about quite a lot, and I know Brad's really keen on, is celebrating stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
That's
what I was about to mention.
And you can do it two ways. You can do it with a really nice sound effect that pops out and sparkles, or we can do it with music.
In terms of that.
Sorry, James.
Yes. Hold on. So what about this particular sound? Did you actually use water to get that properly?
Yeah. So we got a studio. We fill it with water, and we swim around.
Bring the hose.
Yes. Because I know I've seen you guys come out just grabbing a bunch of different things and going,
We've got a big water tank in there.
Yeah.
We just go around and splash around in there.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh. I've never seen it.
You've seen the props they have in the
I have never seen the water
when
tank.
we do the podcast. It's like, is a water tank really that surprising?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. There's like...
There's like a sledgehammer in there.
It does
at
look
one
like
point.
a murder room.
It does. It looks like Dexter's been up in there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do you know
what's
when we were doing one of the other games, I took loads of fruit and vegetables in there, and I had to literally get this polythene and cover the studio with polythene. I just smash basically. It was just everywhere.
Channel's Inner Gallagher right
I
there.
was just like, oh man, I didn't know how close to the knuckle we were on that one.
Honestly, it doesn't smell very nice.
I can imagine.
But yeah, we that's exactly what we do. We got all the props in the studio. Fill little tanks with water.
So water is actually water in this.
For real.
That's crazy. So what are, since we're talking about Foley and everything, what are the most random things that you had to do in order to make, I guess, a normal sound in this game, or even other games that you worked on before?
I don't know if Ryan spoke about the snake. We used a wet cloth for the snake.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't Ryan not speak about
No.
it?
Oh, I wasn't here. I think I was in the States already when that stream went off. But was it really a wet cloth?
Yeah.
So you just went like.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
It's a wet cloth. It's a wet towel. You know, we tie a few knots in it, and we got it on stone. Dragged it through stone. We got some foliage and did it through foliage and a bamboo pipe. We got.
How did you get to a wet towel on a concrete slab though?
I don't know.
That's the thing that's making me laugh. It's
Yeah.
just like you all sat around scratching your heads like, well, we tried the snake. The snake doesn't work. Now what do we do?
You sort of have to vocalise.
Yeah.
You vocalise
Oh, yeah.
it.
And then so what makes that noise?
That's not a snake.
Well, that's a wet towel hitting a slab.
Well, that's
Is it though?
it sort of is, you know. And the interesting thing is, the snake's made out of the physics orbs, so each one has collision on it.
Yeah.
And so it is exactly that sound. So we did a lot of drops onto surfaces with wet cloth, and it's a really nice sound you get when it lands. You know, you can hear all the collisions going.
So that's a wet cloth.
Yeah. on stone.
Amazing. What in the world? That's so wild. It's okay. So we have wet cloth used for snake sounds. What else? What other crazy things?
Baby's laughs for hummingbirds.
Babies laughs and dolphins for hummingbirds.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. So for all our new viewers, actually, hello. How are you guys doing? We are talking about audio and voice acting in Snake Pass and how that's actually implemented. We were talking to Pat over here, who was our audio director at Sumo Digital, and we also have Brad, who is our designer, lead designer on Snake Pass. Designer on many things, actually.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Yes, you are a great designer. We've worked
Oh,
for a
thanks,
long
David.
time, guys. Yes, excellent.
Beautiful moment.
Yeah, isn't it? Though?
We did our best work together, Dave.
Yeah, we did. Never forget. Never forget. Yeah, right now we're just talking about the different sounds, or just the most unusual things that you use in order to make normal sounds in a game. And in the Snake Pass, we've used very interesting things. Like, if you just missed out, we used the wet cloth
On a snake.
to emulate that sound of the snake.
Yeah, you just do figure
Just
eights.
traveling, just doing figure eights on a wet slab.
Yep, on a
That's
slab or
wild.
through grass.
Yeah.
Actually, the bamboo pipes, didgeridoo. We use the didgeridoo downstairs, and just so it produces a really nice honk. Like, oh.
I remember when you guys brought in that didgeridoo in the first place. And I was like,
Isn't that
what?
Jimbo's?
Yeah,
Jimbo
yeah.
played it
Jimbo's.
constantly, didn't it?
Yes, we were just...
It wasn't annoying at all.
No, not at all. Whatsoever. That's crazy. Any other interesting items used to make normal sounds?
We use quite a lot of library sounds as well as sourcing our own. So,
Yeah.
Not really. No, that was the most unusual thing we did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because it needed particular articulation, and
Right.
you know, you can't get that without doing it bespoke, and yeah, it was tough. But yeah.
That's wild. Well, another thing, since we talked about earlier, since we kind of just went off on the voice acting bit, Tony the Tiger, a.k.a. Tom Clark Hill, the voice actor, he is Noodle's voice as well. So, on that note, I suppose, how now that you, I guess, know that it is Tony the Tiger, how weird is it having that?
I don't
Not
know.
necessarily weird,
I don't know,
but
because it doesn't vocalize.
He's got so much range.
he has a lot of
as
range.
well.
Because when you listen to him talk, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Holy."
He can
Yeah,
get right
it's-
up there. He can get
Yeah.
into these crazy cartoon spaces that like, wow, yeah. He's some of his vocalizations. I think I was saying earlier to you when we were just chatting. He started them in the back of the throat. Quite
Yeah.
Like go, and I'm like, he's going to say great,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really work for the snake. I mean, that sort of vocalization in the back.
And it's weird with those vocalizations. When as I'm looking at it now, I don't necessarily see the voice coming out in a way, but obviously when you mesh them together,
So
that's
while
when it-
while
that's
we
when
were recording, I
Yeah.
had on my laptop, I had the trailer playing over and over
okay.
and over again. And when it synced up, it was just like
there it is.
that's gonna work.
It's a matter of context
That's-
more than anything else, really. Yeah.
There's going to be some odd looks when it eventually all goes in.
Because Noodle's been silent for
Oh, yeah,
nearly-
definitely.
well, over a year.
Over a year now.
Yeah. And people have lived with this. You know, the dev team have lived with this, and I always say it's the reason why I always sort of balk against putting temporary music tracks into places, because you put that in, you know, and the
stick
dev
with
team
it,
hears it
yeah.
for 6 months, and then all of a sudden you say, right, and here's the real music. They go,
What's this?
That's not right.
where's my music? Where's
Yeah.
the music that's about, you know? And I think we're going to have a similar thing with the snake. It's silent right now, but it's going to start vocalizing.
Yeah.
And people are going to go, the snake doesn't make a noise like that. It's like,
Yeah.
but, you know, to
But
people,
look at this snake. This
but
snake
it-
doesn't have fangs.
Yeah. People who are fresh to it, they'll not know any difference.
Yeah.
That's always been, you know. I always think it's like changing the music to Star Wars all of a sudden. You know, it's like if suddenly they change the music to Star Wars, you'd be like, it's not Star Wars.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest problems with the prequels. Apparently, the
I
music was not
agree.
from Star
I
Wars.
agree.
It's like,
Music was good. It just didn't.
yeah, it takes a while.
It's tonally different, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
On that random note, I watched that redub where it uses
Oh, it's amazingly funny.
Yeah, the
I
Chinese
usually-
subtitles, and they redub it again in
into
English. Yeah.
And then have actors read it out.
Yes,
That's
it was
amazing.
so good. I didn't know it was actually going to be dubbed. I thought it would just have the subtitles, but yeah, that's great. Just random context stuff. So yeah, here we go. Sumo Rex is saying, Tony the Tiger is Noodle. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not going to sound like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
It's just the actor.
But yeah, you can look him up on the internet. That's how we
Yeah.
found him.
They could be brothers. I mean, look at the color schemes. They're,
Oh, wow.
they're identical
Wow.
practically.
Maybe if you go,
Brothers from different mothers.
yeah, Snake Pass 2, Electric Boogaloo, Tony the Tiger action
Kellogg's,
coming in.
please.
Helps. That'd be amazing. Tony DLC. So we have Unreal Engine going Snake's Rule. That they do. Do we have any actual snack sounds in the game?
No, even the hissing is.
What is the hissing?
I think it's Ryan.
It's just.
Sorry to disappoint. I think it's just Ryan. Although the thing is about Ryan's hissing, it's just pretty just.
Yeah.
When we got Tom to do some hissing, he's got some super characterful hissing.
Yeah.
He was like trying to hiss. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him doing that as well, and he was just like. As he was there, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
That's frightening. Man.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. But
Also, some of the stuff that he did, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah. So it's Ryan at the moment, but we'll
Yeah.
drop that and do the refix.
We have a question: is Noodle's voice in the game yet?
No, it's not in right now. All the hooks are in.
I'm pretty sure would have shown that, or a little bit,
Yeah,
if that was the case.
yeah.
But currently, no.
But he's not going to say English words. It's not or any other language. It's just emotes.
Parcel tongue.
It's what?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, for all you Harry Potter fans.
We're just
Yeah, you just
muggles.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Us muggles here.
Filthy
oh my
muggles,
God.
unbelievable.
Yeah, so Snake's not going to say any words. He's going to emote, and so it's really the subject of emote. So not in yet, but it's going to be very shortly.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So is there anything else that we need to know about the sound, or that we should know about the sound design or the voice acting in this game?
Other than what I've already said.
Yeah.
No.
Just let it all out, huh? Excellent.
All right,
Much
James.
appreciated. Much appreciated. So, so since obviously we're getting closer to release, you said we just need to. I mean, the mixing part is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else aside from implementing the voices on that?
We're
regard?
pretty much done. I think there's a few things we need to fix. There's other characters in this world that need to get looked at
What?
as
No
well
way.
that I can't
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, clearly.
Just don't say anything now.
Yeah. And we're done. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
James.
Yeah, cut it.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to redo those, and there's some collection stuff that we need to redo that's not doesn't celebrate enough.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I think we're getting there.
Yeah, because visually I've seen some things change from the build that we brought from PSX as I was playing through the entire game. It's like, oh wow. So it'll be very interesting to see other things that have changed up as well. What are you doing, man? How can I
I
talk
know,
this
I
if I
know.
can't see him? Yeah.
Getting into it.
Yeah.
Getting into my Slithery.
Yes. So on that note, in terms of design, do you look at anything in terms of the audio, making sure everything works together too? Because obviously, you got to work in.
I mean, I
sync with each other.
give Pat my thoughts when asked, or when something's like, it's not quite doing it for me. And Pat's great because he's really good at because you're going, I don't like it. He's like, why don't you like it? Well, because it's not what I was expecting. I was like, oh, why? And then it was the same thing with Doodles.
Yeah.
Vocalization is we got to the bottom of what it was we
Yeah.
wanted, because my thing to Pat was like, I wanted to sound like R2D2, and to Pat that's just like, well, R2D2 makes bleeps and blorps. That's not a thing. And it took me a long time to go, you know what he means when he says it, even though you don't speak bleep blorps. And
But it's not you know how he feels.
yeah, you know how he feels, sorry, not necessarily what I'm saying. Same with Chewbacca and all those characters, you just like, it's there, and it was like, I wasn't feeling that, and Pat was really, really patient with us, like, really getting down to it. But other than that, I've worked with Pat a long time now, goodness. And I know Pat's going to give us great results.
You coughed before you said that.
It's because I needed that water, James. And you know, it's like a part of doing what I do is having trust in the people who do what they do, and not to be a super control freak, which can be difficult. Thankfully, that's not really my personality type. But you know, I know Pat's going to deliver great results every time.
The thing is about Brad is he's just super nice. Even if he doesn't like something, I mean, in a way, I have to try harder because it's difficult to get it out of him.
Yeah.
It's like, but what do you think, Brad? It's kind of all right. It's all right. Kind of not.
Is
I can
it
see
though?
it's
Yeah.
not. I can see it's not. Come on, what's wrong with it? It's not what I was expecting. Just say it.
Yeah,
You know, but we get there.
that's good.
And actually, it's nice to have people like that rather than people who just jump up and down on. You know,
Like, ooh,
yeah, you know.
it's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. But at least you know you're kind of, sort of getting to that point too as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, anyone else but Pat might have just taken what I said at face value and walked away and came back.
R2D2.
Put
Yeah.
R2D2 again. Are you happy now? It's like,
Oh,
no.
that's not a bridge sound. That's really cool. So yeah, as we're getting pretty much closer to the end of the stream, it's been really awesome talking about more of the sounds of this game, and especially the whole voice acting bit. So again, thank you, Pat, for swinging by. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Brad, once again, and
Hi.
also thank you, Pit Stop, and Tom Clark Hill, aka
Absolutely.
Tony the Tiger,
Yep.
and in many other things as well. He's a prolific voice
Great job,
actor
yep.
in the industry. So at some point, we'll be able to show you the game with all those voices implemented and whatnot. The final mix, as they say. So that should be really
Coming
cool.
soon.
Coming very soon, and I'm sure we will have some neat announcements about that in a bit. So,
Play with headphones. Come on.
from an audio director's perspective, would you say people should play games with headphones, or does that depend on the game?
Depends on the headphones, man.
Okay.
I got some of those PlayStation headphones, the
No.
wireless
Yeah.
ones. I mean, I know you're probably like, oh man, you should probably, spend hundreds of pounds on a quality pair of like super, but changed my life.
Really?
Seriously, I've begun appreciating
Sound design.
audio in games even more than just like
Well, then they're doing
when
the
I
job.
when I pull the trigger,
Yeah.
the gun makes the pew pew noise.
But
it's
that
like-
makes a noise anyway out of a TV.
yeah, but I've got standard speakers that are facing the wall behind the TV,
Yeah,
so everything's
tiny
bouncing
3-inch
off.
drivers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're horrible and
Tinny,
tinny.
yeah.
And,
So in their respects, yeah, headphones are fine. But if you get yourself a decent audio system,
So
get
we
yourself
have-
an Atmos system.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, sure, why not? Dear Dolby, can you?
Snake Pass Special Edition with
Beautiful. Yeah, 7.1 and
7.1.
everything. Yeah, the whole mix. I have a question. Are there any plans for multiplayer?
we are not talking about multiplayer at this time, David.
Excellent. Okay, so there's your answer right there. But maybe in the future we will hit you back up with that. But good question. Good question, by the way. Let me see. Where else was I going to go with that? Yeah, it's always good to have sounds in a video game because the right sounds...
For real.
Yes, clearly. Clearly. The right sounds obviously make that experience.
As an owner of a ZX Spectrum, David, I could not disagree more.
Yeah. I still remember my first computer was like a 386, and then we got what is it?
Internal speaker. Brr, brr.
Oh no, we actually got an external speaker where you hook it up to the serial port back in the day. Oh, it was like for some Disney game, and it was just like, oh wow,
What's that?
just a random 386, PC. And it was crazy. So sound design clearly in video games has
Come a long way.
come a long way in comparison. So, for everybody else out there, thank you for watching. We are actually going to be talking about some of these things that we were planning on giving away soon. So, make sure to check us out on Twitch. Oh, obviously, yeah, you are watching Twitch right now. On Twitter, Snake_Pass, our Facebook, Snake Pass Game, also our YouTube as well, which where all these streams go is Snake Pass Game as well. You can also catch us on our website, snake-pass.com, where we will be updating with lots more info, including when we're releasing as well. So that's actually very soon. We have lots of good stuff coming for you along the way. Next week, actually, is a very special stream because we are streaming a bit later, 2 hours later, because we are co-streaming with Unreal Engine, who is actually co-hosting us right now. We'll be talking to them about some of the technical aspects in Unreal Engine 4 with some of our coders and Seb as well.
Seb's back.
Yeah, Seb is back. If you need
missed
more
Seb,
Seb,
he's
yeah,
coming.
there's definitely more more Seb on the way, who is the creator of Snake Pass. And it's been more than a year now, actually, since this game has kind of been out
doing the rounds.
out there in the world. So we're really excited to get this game out to you guys. Once again, we are going to be on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Steam. You can check us out on our Steam page as well. Add us to your wish list. We got some cool stuff coming, and we really cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. So, on behalf of these guys over here, Sumo Digital, and the rest of the Snake Pass team, thank you for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Mwah.
Bye.